Because when Monday Night Raw started, I couldn't wait for Daniel Bryan to come out and start speaking his mind. I couldn't wait for it. Um, John Cena came out to start the show off to let the WWE audience know that he had to take time off, as I discussed earlier. That elbow looked really, really bad. And I don't know how the hell he wrestled on that elbow. But kudos to him for pulling the match off, or pulling it off with Bryan, because it takes two guys to have a good match. And I hope he recovers, and hopefully he'll come back with some sort of change in his gimmick. I'm hoping. One can only hope. Daniel Bryan didn't get to have two words in, and Stephanie McMahon came out and tried to give some bogus reason as to why Triple H decided to turn on Daniel Bryan and basically hand Randy Orton the WWE Championship. And despite how she tried to rationalize it, Daniel Bryan didn't buy it for one bit. And he got in Stephanie's face, said everything he had to say, and everyone that was in the audience loved it. And she had him thrown out of the building. But before I get into the rest of what I was interested in Raw, I just want something to be made clear when it comes to Daniel Bryan and the fans. See, a lot of people have the idea, the misconstrued idea, I might add, that only internet wrestling fans or internet wrestling goofs cheer for Daniel Bryan and nobody else does. Let me explain something to you. If you don't watch the show, I don't expect you to understand. I don't know if everyone else is seeing the same thing I'm seeing, but for the last few weeks, Daniel Bryan has been getting cheered in every single city that they go to. Not every single fan in that building is IWC. And I don't understand how that's ignored. The guy gets friggin' pops bigger than anyone else in the business right now. Why? Because just because the internet wrestling community thinks Daniel Bryan's great, automatically everyone that cheers him is a mark. People don't understand that, or whoever thinks like that doesn't understand, that Daniel Bryan's the perfect balance. He's loved by the younger audience because he's a hero, he's an underdog, and he, does some high-flying moves. But he's loved by the adults because we see the talent he has. And whoever doesn't see the talent he has and the charisma he has is either blind or they just don't understand the business. Daniel Bryan has connected with the audience, and not every wrestler can do that. So the fact that he has done that cannot be ignored any longer. And whether anyone realizes it or not, he is the main babyface in the WWE at this point in time. Now that it's perfect timing that John Cena is going for elbow surgery while Daniel Bryan is going to be chasing the WWE Championship, which is now in the hands of the new Evolution corporate regime, which is a combination now of Triple H, Randy Orton, Stephanie, and Vince McMahon, with the Shield doing the dirty work. All throughout Raw, the Shield was attacking everyone that spoke out about how Triple H abused his power. Big Show and Dolph Ziggler, they all had 3-on-1 matches with the Shield, and the Shield came out on top both times. Alberto Del Rio had a match with Sin Cara, and a few minutes into the match, Sin Cara did a dive outside onto Del Rio, and I think it was that he dislocated two of his fingers, and he asked the referee to stop the match, and now he's got heat in the back for doing that, because I don't know, I guess that there's some sort of a code that the wrestler's not supposed to ask for the referee to stop the match. I really am not 100% sure, but that's what happened. Following that, Ricardo Rodriguez made his return. I guess he lost his accent. And basically showed that he is now aligned with Rob Van Dam, who I believe is going to be Del Rio's next opponent at Night of Champions, which I think will be a great championship match because they're both skilled. Do I think that Del Rio's character is kind of stale? Yeah, but he's a great wrestler. He's got great skill. And Rob Van Dam is Rob Van Dam. And I think they'll have a great match. Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow had another match in which, again, Cody Rhodes defeated Damian Sandow. I think Cody Rhodes is another one who should be next in line for a world title match with Del Rio, because Cody Rhodes has been winning consistently, and he's been winning high-profile matches. I don't see how they can keep him in the mid card much longer. I think that he'll be in the very near future. By the end of this year, he will at least have had a match for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk got called out earlier in the evening by Paul Heyman, saying that he will forgive CM Punk if he apologizes and realigns himself with Heyman. That did not happen. When Punk came out, he called out that jerk that was in the front or the second row that was heckling all the wrestlers. I'm glad that he shut him up, because that was really friggin' annoying. CM Punk ended up putting a real beatdown on Curtis Axel. And obviously this feud between Heyman and Punk is going to continue, which I think is fantastic. Let the two run their mouths against each other, and they will create magic. They are great on the microphone, and they know how to handle situations like that. And to end the show, Triple H, Stephanie, Vince McMahon, and Randy Orton took the floor, talking about how Triple H did what was right for business, and all that other garbage about how Daniel Bryan doesn't fit because he's not a buff, steroid using, drug using, movie star looking guy, and yada yada yada. Most people probably don't realize, or maybe most people do. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't heard everyone's opinions yet. But the WWE creative process is taking pot shots at the IWC on what they think that Vince McMahon thinks of wrestling. They're using the IWC's hatred for Vince McMahon and the assumptions that they make of him that he only likes big wrestlers, and they're using that for storyline purposes. Maybe that is how they felt at a certain point, and they're coming out with that, and they're using that for storyline purposes now. And whether anyone wants to accept it or not, it's the corporation versus Stone Cold all over again, except this time it's a wrestler that's trying to go against the machine, who wants whatever mold it is that they go for. Because I guess Stephanie, when she made all those statements to Bryan, forgot that Shawn Michaels was WWE Champion, Rey Mysterio was WWE Champion, Eddie Guerrero was WWE Champion, and CM Punk was WWE Champion. And none of those guys were the size of Hulk Hogan. None of them were the size of Brock Lesnar or Triple H or any of the guys that Vince is oh so obsessed with in storyline purposes, not in reality. Because in reality, Vince is very high on Daniel Bryan. Thank God. Finally realizes the skills that this guy has. Bryan attempted to get in the ring to get face-to-face with Triple H. Never got the chance. Got beat down by the Shield and then got dropped with an RKO. Finally, Orton did something. That was the only thing that I didn't like about the cash-in, that Orton didn't do a friggin' thing. Didn't hit him with nothing. Didn't hit him with an RKO or a punt. I would have preferred for Bryan to fight, even if it was just a little bit of fight left in him after the pedigree, to show that the guy's got some more heart in him. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm really enjoying that the WWE is producing television that week to week I want to watch. I'm stewing to get to Monday Night Raw next week. And I'm hoping that, the light at the end of the tunnel is that Daniel Bryan gets his retribution and becomes WWE Champion and has a nice long run. Because let's face it, the guy's connected with the audience and he is amazing when he steps in those ropes. Well, that's going to wrap it up for me for now. And the big news that I wanted to drop is that this may be my last video alone. Because days before Night of Champions, my next video will be taking place with another seat right next to me and another body talking about pro wrestling. I have made a deal with a friend of mine, a good friend of mine that I watched SummerSlam with, who immediately, me and him just, we just became friends right away. The first time I met him, and me and him just clicked. We got similar thoughts going on upstairs, and I spoke with him, and we decided that together we're going to critique what we see on the shows, Raw and SmackDown. Now I'm going to be watching SmackDown more consistently because I haven't really been watching since 2010. And we're going to give our opinions and we're going to give our our predictions for the future of what we're going to see. Well, he'll reveal his identity at a later date. He knows who he is. And I'm sure we'll have some fun. Take care, guys. See you in a few weeks.